With summer bearing down, softball season is almost to a close, which means there's no other way this week on To The Point than stop by with one of the Mark Cumpion's players is Jordan Dickerson. Joins us here, freshman second baseman. Jordan, thank you for giving us the time.
Thank you.
So before we get started on everything, we have to ask, how is everything back home during this COVID-19 situation with all your friends and family in Mount Pleasant?
It's actually pretty good. I think everything's starting to lighten up, and it's just not back to normal, but better than it was last summer. So
I know that this year it's been so crazy with all the COVID stuff going on, and it's been a transition with the Division I year. Y'all played a loaded schedule. I feel like this group has grown really close, though. I feel that watching y'all. Do y'all feel the same?
Yes, sir. Especially since from the teams we've played, we've had to come together and just work really hard in those situations. So we've gone through the struggle together. So it did bring us a lot closer.
All right, we're going to talk more about you and your ladies here in a little while. We want to talk a little bit about you here on To The Point, though. And one thing that I love about watching you play, just kind of the entertainment of the game, is you got the Johnny Cash walk up. And you were telling me you're a big country music fan. Give me a couple of artists you like to go to and a couple of their favorite songs.
I like George Strait. I like his song Carried Away and Let's Fall to Pieces Together. And then I like the Randy Rogers Band. And I really like their song Fuzzy and In My Arms Instead.
Another thing I love is that you don't shy away from being country. And the other thing, I asked you about your favorite movie, and you said that True Grit was.
Yes,
and then the first thing I had to ask is if it was the new or the old one. And the first thing you said was it has to be the old one because you love John Wayne.
Yes, sir.
Are there some other ones from the Duke that you like to go to and watch other than True Grit?
That's a good question. I have watched some, but that really is the one I prefer. That's just
True Grit's the go-to when it comes to John Wayne. You also had a very interesting dream vacation. You want to go to Montana, but you have a very specific reason why.
Yes, sir. I want to go elk hunting in Montana.
That'd be a lot of fun. You better dress warm. We look at kind of your softball career, and one thing that, especially with the higher end softball players like you, that you have in similar with them is that you didn't start out on the softball side. You started on the baseball side when you were younger, and I asked you when you started playing, and you couldn't even remember. Kind of take us through your younger days playing the game before it really became competitive in high school and everything, and just kind of how you transitioned over from baseball to softball.
Yes, sir. Okay, so I guess I just started with baseball because that's my brother's friends had people my age, and so I just played with them. And then I would transition over to softball, but I'd still go practice with the boys my age, and it would just help my competitiveness, I guess, because you had both sides. But I moved into softball, and I started playing select. I don't know when, but select's probably what got me to where I'm at the most. Our high school team was all right.
You don't just play on the diamond, you also play basketball. Later 3 years in Mount Pleasant doing that as well. Talk about basketball. You told me the adrenaline rush was something that you love when you were hooping.
Yes, sir. I do like basketball. My mom's more of the basketball side of my family. My dad definitely does not play basketball, but I do miss that a lot. I played all through when I could in junior high and elementary, and then in high school I played my first 3 years, but last year I decided since I was about to go to college and play softball, I probably should not play basketball. But yeah, it was fun. I miss it.
Safe to say you focused in on the diamond and it's paid off,
Yes,
Jordan.
Thank you.
Real quick, before we get to your time here at Tarleton, we have to do our this or that segment. Are you ready to go?
Yes, sir.
All right, Jordan, cookies or cake?
Cake.
Chicken or steak?
Steak.
Cat or dog?
Dog.
Shoes or flip-flops?
Shoes.
Netflix or Hulu?
Netflix.
Shorts or pants?
Shorts.
Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
Love or money?
Love.
Comedy or horror?
Comedy.
LeBron or Jordan?
Jordan, for sure.
Morning or night?
Morning.
Beach or mountains?
Mountains.
All right, Jordan, is it the Pooh or is it the Plowboys?
Plowboys.
There you go. Very decisive early on in your Tarleton careers. You're hearing from Jordan Dickerson, second baseman for Tarleton Softball, as they prepare for their final series of the year with Utah Valley this weekend. Jordan, we look at why you came to Tarleton, and it was interesting. I was chatting with you. You were over at Northwestern State, and it wasn't like you weren't playing there, but you just felt like things fit better going to school here in Texas. Just kind of take us through that thought process of wanting to come spend the rest of your college experience here in Stephenville.
Yeah, there was a big difference between where I was at in Louisiana and here. This is more, I would say, like my hometown, just the vibe and stuff. And then Coach Coop was also a big factor in it because he's just so competitive, and I love that about him because it brings out that side of me. And he always wants to win, and that's great. That's great to play for someone that just always wants to win. So that was also a big factor.
We'll dive more into Coompa here in a little while, as well as one of his assistants. We talk about Stephenville. You say that you love Stephenville because of its simplicity. And the one thing that we were kind of joking about, you can find everything on Washington here.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Don't get off that.
Yeah, I love to say you can get your gas, you can get your groceries. It's all just right there on Washington.
Yes, sir.
We talk a little bit about your teammates here at Tarleton. I asked you right off the bat, who were the funniest and who were the smartest? And you told me you had to think about it. So who'd you land on?
I would say that the funniest is probably Hallie, and I would say Katie's the smartest.
You also like Hallie St. Tignan's car. What do you like about her whip so much?
It's just a really nice Jeep, and I've always wanted one. So
living in Texas, Jeep's got to be one of the go-tos, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, you said your first baseman, Mackenzie Peterson, has the moves. I got to ask, there's not a ton of dancing on the softball field, so where are y'all seeing Mackie get at it?
Well, in the locker room or on the bus or anything. She makes TikToks too, so we just get to see it everywhere.
You told me that if you had to be on a deserted island with someone, it would be Serena Perez is the one that you would be on there with. What makes you think you could, kind of make that your living space with Serena?
Well, I already live with Serena every day, so I think that helps a little bit. But no, I think we get along pretty well, and we both can figure our stuff out, and it helps living with her already, so I know a little bit.
So the first teammate that you knew at Tarleton or got to know at Tarleton is Morgan Medford, but it came before here at your time at Tarleton. Kind of take us through y'all's relationship and how y'all know each other.
Okay, so when we were young, we played on a team together for a year or so, I believe, and then we kind of went separate ways, but we kept in touch. I saw her all the time. She used to come to my house in the summer when we played together, and then she was also a helpful reason of getting to come here is because I knew her. So, and I love her so much because she's very supportive of that aspect. So that is really how I got to know her, and I'm thankful for her.
You brought up Mark Cumpion's competitiveness. Morgan Medford's got a little bit of that too. If you watch her play shortstop,
she sure does.
I said we have to talk about one of Coach's assistants, and it's his former All-American Tana Huey. You said that Tana's got a bad case of getting hit by the softball. Break it down and how you think she could avoid that a little bit.
Well, if she could just stay behind the front toss net, I think that would avoid a lot of the things. But she'll just throw a pitch up there, and she won't get her whole body behind it. And she'll just take some in the arm or the hand.
Well, Tana's proving it's totally different to coach than to play. So maybe that's the one adjustment you got to make is not getting hit behind the screen. You brought up Mark Cumpion's competitiveness. I always like to ask people about their favorite story, and it's still very new for you. This is your first year here at Tarleton. You have a lot of memories and stories that come with Coach. I kind of just wanted you to dive more into, you brought the competitiveness up, just what it was that drew you to Stephenville and wanting to play for the Tarleton softball program.
What drew me here was not just the environment, but him really. I like to win, and I like that he liked to win. So that's a big factor. The coaching staff, I love them a lot. They're there to make you better and win. So that's a big factor because I don't want to just be playing to just play. You want somebody who wants you to win. So them pushing is another reason that helped me come here.
I know all three of your coaches are very thankful to have their new second baseman on campus. Jordan, we look off the field. I know it's very, very early in the process in the classroom as well for you. You told me that you're a construction science and management major, correct?
Yes, sir.
Well, just take us through. I know it's kind of early. There's so many options out there right now. You're just focusing on freshman year and finishing this softball campaign in school strong. But kind of when you look forward down the road, what are kind of some thoughts of what you might use that degree for?
Well, at some point, I hope to start a business with my brother just for like building. Maybe we don't start big buildings, but small buildings back in my hometown, we can start a business together and just take it from there and see what happens. But I'm not sure too much on it yet.
Well, if you put the hard work in there that you are on the softball field, Jordan, I know you're going to be successful. Thank you so much for giving me the time and joining me, and best of luck this weekend in Utah.
Thank you.
Texan second baseman Jordan Dickerson enjoying a very good freshman campaign. One of the many on this young class from Mark Kumpion, who's had a strong season year one in this Division I transition. They close out their campaign this weekend, 3 games with Utah Valley as they play the single game on Friday, an 11 a.m. start time, and then 11 a.m. and 1:30 on Saturdays. They wrap up their season as Tarleton Softball wrapped up their home season or home slate last week, and now they wrap up their 2021 slate here this weekend. As that's going to do it for us on To The Point for Jordan Dickerson. This is Kyle Cruz saying so long.